Hello, thanks for downloading this episode of On Farm.
Welcome to a packed episode of On Farm.
Hi, hello there, it's Farmer Jim here. Just want to say thanks for tuning in and listening to the podcast.
I've wanted to be on this podcast for ages, so I'm really excited that you're now finally here.
I can now see a mini conveyor belt going and a really large tractor just heading right for us at the moment.
Don't worry, we've got the high vis on.
You can see that we've planted hedges along there, and then as we look down towards the River Yugi in the distance there, you can see little bits of woodland and full of native trees and things.
We're all about positivity but realism at the same time. I want us to still be here in 10, 15, 20 years' time when podcasting is totally mainstream.
Then when it comes in to get herself out the sky, she will dangle her legs, wiggle her bum and get herself back into this arena with a beautifully well-timed flight and a fantastic finish. Oh, good girl.
There was this old farmer who came up and he stood at the front of the tent because it's labelled the National Rural Mental Health Forum. He came over and said that he tried to take his life, and he said he walked up the hill with his gun and the dog put his head on his knee, and that's what stopped him.
My name's Rory Robb. I'm an associate of the Whistle Company of Farriers, and I've spent 40 years learning how to shoe horses. The truth of the matter is that you never stop learning.
Thanks to the contributions from the Royal Highland Society and everybody else who's taken part in our podcasts up to now, they have enabled us to gain what's actually quite a powerful position, because we're in the weekly routine for hundreds of farmers. They listen to our podcast, they've got it on auto download, and it's there every Monday morning for them to listen to.
I was not a podcast listener before this all started. It's actually opened up another avenue for people to understand what we do.
We've got a direct line straight to these people.
So on the Saturday morning we had to go out into a ring and stand with this sheep, and then Her Majesty herself came along, which is a big honour to shake hands and meet her like.
And was she as honoured to meet you?
Yes.
Anybody who's listening who has a business or a brand that they think would benefit from sponsoring On Farm or working in association with us like RAS have done, please get in touch. We've got the ability now to share your messages.
We can reach the audiences. You would benefit from having your brand associated with On Farm.
A podcast gives you 35 minutes of depth of content, and I think that's so valuable. So if there's a project story that needs to be told, or a family story that needs to be told, or a product that needs to be described, podcasting can do that in a way that other mediums just simply can't. So I think that's what it's about. It's about telling proper stories in an easily digestible way that everybody can understand and enjoy.
If you are an organisation who wants to reach a rural audience, if you're an organisation or a company or someone with a story to tell, if you want to get in touch about how you might be involved, please do.
It brings a bit of glamour to the lambing field, like you can. Floss! Floss! That damn dog.
Spot on. You want to come home with me? I am patting Floss, probably the most famous dog in Scotland. Jim's beautiful 1-year-old border collie. She's just gorgeous.
Oh, I know, she's beautiful. As I say, she's a pet first and foremost. But
that is the intention to get her trained up.
Yeah, she's very keen. She's mad keen on the sheep. So, yeah, more like my girlfriend's uncle, he trains sheepdogs up in Kinlochbervie. And I thought about putting her out, but it's a bit like sending her to boot camp,
Yeah,
she might come back like a Vietnam veteran, no fun, just scarred for life. But very good at the sheep. If she doesn't make it a sheepdog, I'm sure she could play for Scotland, or she'd be a Scotland Dogs football team. It's great, first touch there.
So where are we off to now then?
We'll just go up the hill. The ewes have just been getting turnips. I get turnips from Stuart's at Toft Hill. Normally they're into cobs by now. But with it being that bloody wet,
it's been awful, yeah.
It would just be a waste of time giving them cobs unless you can find a really dry bit of ground. So.
Do you want me to get the gate?
No,
Sure.
it's a burach here, don't you worry. So that's all the ewes. They've all been scanned, but they're not split up yet to their lots. They're actually coming in this weekend to get their pre-lambing jags. And they're looking far better today, because see when sheep are wet, especially anything that's a bit thinner and the longer wool, they just look miserable.
Yeah, they just start to look a bit dejected,
but
don't they?
at least up here in this farm, there's a lot of trees surround the farm.
Oh, it's stunning. The views are just amazing.
So that's
well, yeah, almost 360 degrees.
So you're looking south to Perth, and then there's the Tay down there.
Yeah.
That's beautiful flat land down there. A lot of carrots and tatty. A lot of carrots growing down there. The basic end of the Sidlaws is pretty much Forfar, you're seeing.
Okay, yes. Yeah.
And then you're seeing away up. That's basically the start of the Grampian Hills, so you're away up. You're only like 30 miles from Glen Shee here.
Gosh,
to the ski.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So you done any Munro bagging in your time?
No, I'm actually wanting to start that up, because now I'm 41, and because we've been to Braemar the last few years, and it's just beautiful. And yeah, I was wanting to. I feel there's a lot of Scotland I'd like to see. So
so much. Yeah.
Not so much maybe Monroe bagging, but there's some lovely walks. I want to walk. You can walk from Braemar to Aviemore up. It's called the Larry Grew, and
that sounds good. How many miles would that be then?
I think it's like 26 miles or something.
Oh, right,
so you could do it in a day, but there's some botties you can stay in.
So you're going to have to get one of these backpacks for the baby, aren't you?
Yeah, there's a Tysers in Perth.
Oh yes, there we go. That'll get you sorted.
God, aye. You know, another gig to get all the gear out of there. But yeah, funny you said that. I am actually would like to do a bit more walking. It's funny
because I'm the same age as you, and as soon as I hit 40, it was like I had to like read more books and do more significant stuff. And I don't think I'm ever going to bag all the Munros, but
no,
if I could do 30 or 40 in my life,
absolutely.
I'd be happy. And I'm no good at
10 a year. It's only one a month.
Yeah. But then some of them are quite challenging to do in the winter because you need enough daylight hours to get all the way up.
And there's some you can do, you can nick 3 or 4 in a day, like apparently. Once you're up that height, you know.
Yes.
Well, you want to get out, it's maybe a bit windy.
Yeah. Tell us a bit about the breeding of these sheep, maybe, if you don't mind.
Yes.
And then
they're all kind of white-faced sheep. We used to traditionally buy Cheviot ewes from Lairg. Sometimes still do. They would be crossed with Texels, and then we started a few years ago putting a blue-faced Leicester tup to them to get a Cheviot mule, just to get a more prolific mule, and then putting them back to the Texels. I used to run some Suffolk tups as well, because Dad, I like the Suffolk, and it's a good, you get a good weighty lamb, but then traditionally don't really keep Suffolk sheep for breeding. You know, it's usually more white-faced sheep, so I kind of binned that. I only got one Suffolk. It's mainly all Texels now, and then we keep the best ewe lambs back for breeding.
And do you like the sheep over the cattle, or you kind
of? A bit of both. I like the sheep. The fact that if I didn't have cattle, you could just about sell your tractor and things and just have a quad bike and I like the sheep that you could basically get away with just having a dog and a stick to an extent, but they're a bloody nightmare too. I mean, especially there's a lot of stress on them this time of year, and there's the odd casualty, or there's always the odd one with a bad foot. I've got a foot bath now. That's made a big difference, but the other reason I like the sheep just now because the trade's flying. Luckily I've kept back some lambs, so I've got finishing lambs in the shed there behind Mum's house where you park the car.
I know, it made me laugh because we recorded an episode at the NFU Scotland AGM a couple of weeks ago, and it's that old kind of adage, like, you know, farmers are never happy. So we spoke to this farmer. Why are you so grumpy? Because I'm grumpy because the sheep price is so high just now. I was like, well, why are you grumpy? It's because I already sold mine. It was like,
there always seems to be, no matter how good you think you've got your lambs, there's always somebody comes in and gets a higher price. You think, what's he doing? But I enjoy. I would actually love to be more arable. As I say, I got my neighbour in to cut my bar last year, but I'm gonna buy a combine because last year, just with the wet weather, he was struggling to get his own cut, and then by the time he got to mine, some of it was buggered.
Yeah, you don't always want to have to rely on
And
that.
any accountant would say, "Oh no, you can't justify having your own combine," but I'm only needing an old 10-footer or something that can work for 3 or 4 days. And folk will laugh at this. They'll think I'm daft, but I really I enjoy it. I enjoy physically driving a combine, or I'm no more happier when I'm sitting on a plough on the tractor. I would love, as much as I love here in the stock. I would love to have 500 acres of that land down there. You know,
calming ringtone.
Oh, it's so annoying. I can phone my leave a voicemail if it's that desperate.
And I suppose also that is a good opportunity for your mind to churn over when you're driving a plough for several hours and do the diversification job at the same time and get some of that material.
Yeah, totally. You'll see me stopping now and again to stop and write a joke. You know?
Yeah. Is that harder then when you're feeding cattle and stuff, because you're kind of busier, so your brain's kind of on the job rather than necessarily thinking about jokes?
Feeding cattle, you can kind of do with you can shut all your brain off a wee bit, you know. So that's when I tend to wander.
Yeah.
Like so when I'm ploughing, I'm enjoying it that much because I get Spotify on, I get all my tunes and pretend I'm a teenager again. I just tend to just switch off from everything. So in fact, we need music. We'll get a radio in the lambing shed. And after my dad died, I got a radio for the shed just to have some like Ken Bruce or somebody on, you know, just to have
just to have that
a bit of noise,
banter.
you know.
Yeah.
Because it can be quite quiet at times.
Yeah, and you're also, I think, really supportive of RSABI as a farm charity as well.
Yes, aye.
Because farming, I guess, you're out and about meeting a lot of people because of your other job, but farming is a pretty lonely occupation if it's your only occupation.
Yeah.
Do you think you would suffer from that if you weren't out and about doing other things?
I don't know. No, I would maybe... No, actually, to be honest, I quite like my own company. Don't tell Morag that, but I do. I'm quite happy on my own at times. See, it suits some farmers quite well, but folk are just different, and folk like going to the market. I mean, you'll see folk go to the market once a week, even if they're not buying or selling, they need to get out. I think that's why farm sales are so popular, because there are not so many of them now. Folk don't go just to buy the machinery, but just to catch up with people, and local shows are important. But it's a difficult one, that kind of whole... I know there's been a lot of emphasis in the last 5 or 6 years on mental health and farming, and young farmers do the thing like, are you okay, and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Are we still the highest industry for suicides and things?
I think so. And I think, there's too much of a perceived stigma, isn't there, about seeking help, and they're trying to break down that barrier and say, if you're physically unwell, you'd go to the doctor and see about it. But trying to encourage people, if they're feeling as though they've got mental health issues, to go and to speak to somebody, even if it's just, first of all, just like you were saying earlier, get the support of your next door neighbour, and then then seek help. I
think there's a difference between being lonely and having company but not being able to talk about it. I think that's the difference, because I mean, I don't know the figures, and I know it's a bit morbid, but I think there are folk that take their lives but they haven't been physically lonely. They're working with people that they maybe have family, but they're bottling up. Maybe it is financial pressures, or just they're unwell, and that's the ones you have to watch. Maybe it's the ones you don't notice. I mean, I don't think I make a conscious effort. It's different now because I've got Morag living with me, and I've always been fortunate. I had mum on the farm, but I think if I wasn't doing my comedy, I try and go and see St Johnstone now and again. It's good for comedy material, and I make an effort. I'm lucky. A lot of my best college pals were from here, so I make an effort to meet up in the pub and watch a Scotland game or something now and again, or go around for tea or whatever. And I'm on the Perth show committee. It's even just something like that. It's like Saturday night there we've got our director's dinner. So I think I would value a lot of these things more. But
absolutely, to socialise and see people and share experiences. The
thing about